Those hoping to view wildlife in their natural habitat should consider a visit to sections 61 through 70 in the Forestry Bureau's Alishan Forest District. Usually found today in difficult-to-reach terrain much higher up, such a profusion at relatively low altitudes reflects decades of earnest conservation work by the Forestry Bureau. Sections 61 through 70 are part of the 1802 Soil Conservation Forest and 1806 Water Conservation Forest. They lie along the Yunlin Nantou County line within the boundaries of Linhai Township and Doliu City. Hilly topography here is bounded by the Zhuoshui River to the north, the Bagua Range to the south, and Qingshui River to the east. The 10 forestry sections, which together cover 1,737 hectares in total land area, are administered by the Nantou Forest District Office. These uplands are rich in ecological resources, forests, plants, and forage. Valleys offer safe sanctuary to a diverse array of wildlife and support vibrant ecosystems. Early spring heralds the return of migratory purple crow butterflies from Southeast Asia. Linhai is a mecca for purple crow enthusiasts who gather to greet the butterflies before they disperse into the interior. Their quarry fading beyond the Doliu Hills, butterfly watchers give way to another group of wildlife aficionados, those pilgrims who come for the annual arrival of the fairy Pitta. The fairy Pitta is an endangered migratory summer transient that arrives in Taiwan in late April, early May. This is the start of the rainy season, when plentiful worms and other insects nourish hatchlings. Fairy pittas sport feathers in 8 distinct colors, including green, blue, yellow, chestnut brown, cream yellow, red, black, and white. Brilliant coloration is the source of its nickname, the colorful sprite of the forest. But their colors are also at the root of their modern-day plight. Untold thousands were caught and stuffed as curios in the 1970s. This, coupled with large-scale destruction of their lowland habitat, which overlapped with fields and other areas of human activity, pushed the fairy Pitta almost to extinction. Their sanctuary shrinking, BirdLife International estimates peg the remaining world fairy Pitta population at less than 10,000. Further delay of conservation and protection work would have been a death sentence. Taiwan began to enforce protection of the fairy Pitta as a recognized endangered species, and the fairy Pitta was formally added to Asia's Endangered Species Red Book, as well as the IUCN's Red Book of Vulnerable Birds. In Taiwan, fairy pittas are active in dense deciduous forests where they are secretive and difficult to spot. Oftentimes, it is only their mating calls that give away their presence. A particularly dense population of fairy pittas congregate in Huben, Linei Township, and visitors come from near and far to see the rare spectacle of these birds foraging in the open, upturning leaves in search of worms and insects. The locals call their colorful seasonal visitors by the endearing term "kyoha," or eight-colored kids. Fairy pittas can also be found in other low-elevation highland areas. These include Taoyuan's Shimen Reservoir, Taichung's Dakong District, and Tainan's Zhongwen Reservoir. Their summer nesting range also extends well beyond Taiwan to include China, Japan, and the Korean Peninsula. The birds return in September-October to winter feeding grounds in Borneo and Indochina. However, despite its importance to the fairy pitta, the Huben area remains threatened by destructive economic priorities. In May 2000, approval to build the Hushan Reservoir in an area close to Huben ignited a grassroots effort by residents and environmentalists to raise awareness and coalesce efforts to protect the fairy pitta's threatened habitat, a habitat that also sustains other protected species, such as Swinhoe's pheasant and the yellow-lined box turtle. To address concerns, the Nantou Forest District Office held a public hearing that restated and further elucidated the agency's commitment to conservation and helped assuage public concerns about the potential environmental impact of the new reservoir. On November 28, 2008, the Council of Agriculture declared Alishan Forest Sections 61 through 70 as the new Yunlin Huben Fairy Pitta Major Wildlife Habitat in accordance with domestic wildlife conservation law rules. To increase general awareness of the fairy pitta, Nantou Forest District Office, researchers and residents have compiled information on local plant and wildlife, along with cultural and scenic attractions. In 2001, the Forest District Office, Endemic Species Research Institute, and Central Region Water Resources Office launched a long-term survey of fairy pitta populations. The effort opened a window on Huben's rich ecosystem, and with rising public attention to the species, the Society announced sightings of 159 birds at 382 monitoring spots. Actual population size is likely larger. Auxiliary sightings of mammals, reptiles, and amphibians further revealed the area's hidden ecological wealth. Working with experts, the district office initiated a survey of fairy pitta numbers. Endemic Species Research Institute researcher Lin Xing, long involved in avian research in the Huben area, used the playback method to obtain an estimated population. The small numbers of blue pittas here compounds the practical difficulties encountered spotting them in the wild. Because they have a useful habit of communicating in song, we use the playback method. Broadcasting a recorded fairy pitta call stimulates a response, letting us better assess fairy pitta activity in a particular area. Deceptively simple, this very demanding field research approach is well rewarded when broadcast calls coax a response. Fairy pittas are monogamous, and each nest holds between 4 and 6 eggs. Assuming generally good conditions, like adequate rainfall, we can expect each healthy couple to lay 5. 6 are relatively less frequent. If all goes well, we can expect 4 or 5 hatchlings per nest, and the same number to take flight. But this is only under the best conditions. Many nests see only 4 hatchlings leave the nest. Reproductive success is also highly variable, rising and falling with varying conditions year to year. The Huben Ecological Cooperative is a magnet for regional ecotourism. Housed in a refurbished farmhouse, the cooperative is a center of information on local wildlife and ecology. The busy man here is the cooperative's manager, Chen Jiahong, a researcher who fell in love with the area and made it his home. We had a unique opportunity this year that came about after discussing the idea over with a few friends. The idea was to take over cooperative operations for a while to see how things went. Even without the cooperative, I think I'd still like Huben, because it was here that I began my interest in ecology. It was my initiation. Sometimes I get to thinking that if it weren't for the fairy pitta, I might not be in Huben today. He is also actively involved in fairy pitta release research, in which marked birds are tracked to determine range of activity and habitat exploitation patterns, essential to better organize and target conservation measures. Furthermore, work is being done to further protect the wildlife habitat against the predations of the white-rumped shama. Joint research by the Forestry Bureau and Endemic Species Research Institute uses call playback, baited cages, and fog repellents to capture or scare off invasive bird species and protect pittas. Zhang Jingkai hunted exotic birds for a living, up until growing public attention to the pitta's near eradication encouraged him to rethink his profession and its implications for the future of Taiwan and its ecosystem. No longer a hunter, he now uses his sharpened powers of observation and experience to help researchers advance conservation goals. I used to catch the pittas. People bought them, and for me, it was pure commerce. Fairy pittas were a valuable commodity, but that was before. Nowadays, conservation is essential, and we have a responsibility to ensure fairy pitta survival for the next and future generations. They should all be able to see this beautiful bird. They will still be able to see the real thing, rather than having only pictures and memories. Fairy pittas can be seen all over Huben. To prevent poaching, the Nantou Forest District Office works with the community to ensure the area is well patrolled. Volunteers also accompany conservation police to investigate illegal activities. They patrol the interior, confiscate illegal bird nets, and ensure birds continue to have room to fly and a fighting chance for survival. Patrols also regularly help protect another protected resident of area forests, the yellow-lined box turtle. Huben has one of the largest populations of this turtle on the island. Active along the floors of bamboo and lowland tree forests, turtles make easy prey for hunters using passive traps. The yellow-lined box turtle is also known as the snake eater, a moniker not backed up by fact. It is recognized by the yellow pattern behind its eyes. When danger looms, this turtle withdraws its entire body, head, legs, and tail, into its shell. This disappearing act is the source of its other nickname, the box turtle. Bird nests, turtle poaching, and other illicit activities are clearly on the decline due to community patrol efforts. And it is truly exciting to see the ecosystem not only recover, but flourish. Citizens continue volunteering for patrol duties in growing numbers, with the positive spirit feeding back and nourishing the community itself. Children at Pingding's Chunggong Elementary School have actively invested too in local conservation initiatives. During locally sponsored Purple Crow butterfly season activities, students join in to release butterflies into the wild and join in other conservation work. Their work points to high hopes for the continued future success of conservation. To get to Huben in Yunlin County's Linhai Township, exit National Highway number 3 at the Dolio interchange. Then follow Provincial Route 3 toward Linhai. You'll soon see signs directing you to the Fairy Pitta Conservation Area. Turn right on County Route 67 and follow all the way to Huben Village. If coming by train, disembark at the Linhai train station and hop on a local bus. You can make the Huben Ecological Cooperative your first stop. Book a guided tour, collect local visitor information, or sit back and enjoy a good cup of coffee. The cooperative is the ideal springboard for your tour of the area. While bamboo groves can be seen throughout Huben, giant bamboo is something you probably have never seen. Residents introduced this mammoth variety several decades ago as a commercial crop, which today are a major tourist attraction. Creaking in the breeze, bamboo whispers a soulful symphony that both calms and inspires. The Nantou Forest Trail is also a must-do on every itinerary. Located on the Yunlin County side of the district, it is the oldest of the maintained trails, connecting Pingding, Linnan, and Linzhong villages. Used by local residents, its lush natural setting makes the trail popular with visitors and a wonderfully relaxing way to experience this part of Taiwan. There are a number of trail entrances so that hikers can choose trails best suited to their needs. Walk through forests, trek ridges, stop at scenic overlooks, and if you're lucky, catch sight of some wild Taiwan hill partridge. No matter where you go, you're never too far from Huben village. Take a break here to sip tea grown in the verdant plantations of nearby Pingding, sure to restore spirits and rekindle your enthusiasm for more.
Habitat planning efforts in Huben village have not only ensured the survival of wildlife here, we have, through our district office planning and management work, and benefiting from meetings and discussions with various citizen groups and opinion leaders, made things increasingly better for area residents. We are actively working to control environmental changes and using community development associations to unite the power of citizens, academics, conservationists, and government officials. We also work cooperatively to train conservation workers and implement conservation work to ensure a sustainable and successful future here.
Hatchlings continue to mature in the nest, while parents busily shuttle back and forth. These fairy pittas too will return again to Huben. The Nantou Forest District Office and local residents will continue to do their utmost to protect the surrounding environment. While the road ahead is long, the annual visit of fairy pittas, the pleasing appearance of wildlife, and the lushness of nature here are rewards enough to make it more than worthwhile.